Okay, excellent. So thank you for joining me today on this presentation, this self-esteem workshop. So the agenda for today. First of all, we're going to look at what self-esteem is, what causes a lack of it, and how low self-esteem can affect us. And then we're going to talk about me, my own experience with low self-esteem, how it affected me, and how I increased it. Then we're going to look at techniques that we can use to increase self-esteem. We're going to look a little bit at cognitive behavioral therapy. We're going to talk about neuroplasticity and hypnosis. We're going to have a little hypnosis session. And then at the end, you can ask me any questions, give me any comments. So, what is low self-esteem? Let me know in the chat box what low self-esteem means to you. A lack of confidence, not valuing yourself, yep. Lack of motivation. Could result in that. Anyone else? No? Okay. Being scared, yeah, it can. Yep, unable to express yourself, yep. Okay, so self-esteem is what we call a nominalization in NLP. And a nominalization, yep, your perception. Yep, absolutely. A nominalization is something you can't put in a wheelbarrow. And so a nominalization happens whenever a person describes a process, a verb, as a thing, a noun. So nouns are fixed and definite. Verbs are actions and we can change them. So to prove this to you, I'd like you to do a little thought experiment. I'd like you to imagine yourself in your situation that you'd like to change. Just close your eyes or keep your eyes open. Just imagine yourself in a situation that you're not happy with, something that you'd like to change. Maybe it's a situation where you feel you need more self-esteem. And picture yourself there. See what you see, feel what you feel, hear what you hear. Notice what your thoughts are when you're in that situation. What are your feelings? How do you behave in that situation? Just really take it all in. And then once you've done that, if you've got your eyes closed, open your eyes, come back to the present. And now I'd like you to imagine how you'd like to be in that situation. What would your thoughts be in that situation? What would you want your thoughts to be in that situation? How would you like to feel? And how would you like to be behaving? Just think about that. Think about how it would be to have more self-esteem. How will you know when you've got more self-esteem? Give some consideration to all those things. And then when you're ready, you can open your eyes and come back to the present. So if you went along with that, let me know in the chat box, and let me know, do you, having done that exercise, do you see that self-esteem is, as I say, a nominalization? It's a process. And so by changing the process, we can change the, we can change our self-esteem. Let me know if you'd agree with that in the chat box. Yes. Yep. Excellent. How do you change it? We're going to come to that right now. Okay. So, we're not going to come to it just yet. We'll be coming to it shortly, though. But self-esteem and the effects of self-esteem are your self-value. As I think someone said in the chat box, if you have healthy self-esteem, it means that you value yourself and you are capable of taking responsibility for your actions. So you've got an internal locus of control. You're at cause as opposed to at effect. And esteem comes from the Latin word estimare. I'll try and, estimare, I think you'd pronounce that, which means to appraise, value, or rate. Self-acceptance. Someone with healthy self-esteem doesn't look to the outside world for approval or love. And so they can live without fear of failure or rejection. They're usually self-motivated, and because they're able to bond with others in a healthy manner, they find it easy or easier to form meaningful relationships. People with low self-esteem are often codependent, so they're going to look outside of themselves to feel okay. They don't feel okay within themselves, so they need to look to other people and look to substances and things to feel better. So they may develop issues with addiction. They may rely on coping strategies such as alcohol, drugs, or sex to make themselves feel more worthy. So many people are codependent. So failure. So many people with low self-esteem are going to have a fear of failure and rejection. And that can cause them to struggle with bonding to others. And this can result in them forming unhealthy relationships. And they will often look to other people for approval. And they'll do anything to avoid being rejected. They don't have boundaries, so they fear rejection and they need approval, and that can result in people with low self-esteem being able to form healthy boundaries and assert themselves. So they become people pleasers and doormats, and people can take advantage of them. So unassertiveness is about knowing when to say no without imposing yourself on other people either. So it's about being assertive, usually requires emotional intelligence, and assertive people are usually able to negotiate better. They suffer with less anxiety. So the difference between self-esteem and confidence, many people get the two mixed up. So if a person has self-confidence, they trust themselves and their capabilities, and they're capable of taking on new challenges and learning new skills. And confidence in general comes from experience. The more we do something successfully, the more confident we become in our ability to do that thing. And belief. Self-confidence is more to do with belief in our values and our ability to trust our own judgment. So someone with healthy levels of self-confidence will have faith in themselves, and this faith will result in less procrastination and firmer decision-making abilities. So when we have low confidence or low self-esteem, we're going to be compensating. As I said, with low self-esteem, we're going to be codependent. And with low confidence, we're going to be looking to possessions. And in some cases, you know, we can even treat other people as possessions to try and increase our own confidence. So what causes low self-esteem? So everyone is doing the best they can with what they have. But the fact of the matter is that many of us were traumatized as children, and low confidence and self-esteem, an inability to be able to assert yourself, these are all caused by CPTSD, complex post-traumatic stress disorder. And people who are trapped in abusive situations that last for prolonged periods of time, from which there's no escape, generally tend to develop CPTSD. So it's commonly suffered by prisoners of war, members of cults, and children who grow up in dysfunctional families. And it's estimated that around 80% of people grow up in dysfunctional families and actually develop CPTSD. So one symptom of CPTSD is a negative self-image and an inner critic, whereby the child has internalized the shame that's projected onto them by the parent or parents. And this is usually done in the form of put downs, physical and emotional abuse, or could also be abandonment. If a child grows up in an environment where there's a lot of arguing, you know, they can internalize all that, and it can cause them to suffer low self-esteem and a lack of self-confidence. And so systems theory says that by changing one part of a system, we can change the entire system. So if we increase our confidence, it can have a knock-on effect when it comes to increasing self-esteem or becoming more assertive. Likewise, being more assertive can increase our confidence and self-esteem. So whilst issues with self-esteem, confidence, and assertiveness usually result from the same experiences, they are not the same thing. And so they can still be improved. You know, we can still, as I said, improve one, and then we'll improve the others. So how does low self-esteem affect you? Let me know in the chat box. Don't go out much. Yep. Okay. So yep. Yep. Unable to form friendships. Yeah. So yeah, it's like you said, Sarah, it's a codependency issue. So when we have these things, we do tend to form crap relationships and pick the wrong people. You try to avoid. Yep, I used to do that. Okay, so about me and my experience with low self-esteem. So I'm a hypnotherapist, a life coach, a master practitioner of mindfulness and NLP. And for me, my journey started in 2015. And I was very shy, although I was also very quite narcissistic to try and disguise my lack of confidence and shyness. And I used to suffer a lot with emotional dysregulation, flashbacks, all kinds of issues. And then something happened and I started questioning how I'd gotten into the situation I'd gotten into, and I started looking for ways to change. And my narcissism and coping strategies that I developed to try and overcome being shy and introverted and unconfident hadn't helped, and they got me into some bad relationships. So I started studying NLP, cognitive behavioral therapy, and hypnotherapy. And then last year in 2019, I was announced the best hypnotherapist in Windsor, Berkshire. So I won the Professional Achievement Award. NLP stands for Neuro-Linguistic Programming. So yeah, it was due to childhood. I grew up in a dysfunctional family. And yeah, there was some trauma. Yep. Yeah, many of us develop it in childhood. So cognitive behavioral therapy is one way that I was able to, one of the first things I started studying when it came to trying to sort out my problems. And so cognitive behavioral therapy, as I said, it comes from systems theory. So we all have thoughts, and these thoughts influence our feelings, and our feelings can influence our thoughts. And we can also have behaviors, and these can be influenced by our feelings and our thoughts. Then we have physical reactions, and our thoughts don't just influence our feelings and our behaviors and our physical reactions. These can all influence each other. So for example, if you have a bad posture, that would be a behavior. And that can cause you to feel unconfident, and that can result in negative thoughts and negative physical reactions. Likewise, if you can't make eye contact with people, that would also be a behavior. And that can cause you to blush, which would be a physical reaction. And then that can cause thoughts, which can be negative. And then that can result in feelings which make you feel worse, make you feel anxious, make you feel unworthy. So all of these things influence each other. And as I showed on the process exercise, by changing the process, we can change the outcome. So by changing the behavior, for example, if you change your posture, so you sit up straight and keep your back straight and have good posture, then you're going to feel more confident, and that's going to result in more confident thoughts, which is going to result in more confident behavior, more confident physical reactions. So that's how that works. And then we come to neuroplasticity. Now, until the age of 7 is known as the imprint period. And it's in that age frame that we're learning the most important things, the most difficult tasks. We're learning to walk, talk, to read, write, and feed ourselves. So that's when our neuroplasticity is at its highest. But using hypnosis, it's been proven that until the age of 7, a child's brain is in the theta brainwave state. And using hypnosis, we can re-access that brainwave state and access that neuroplasticity that we experience as children. So there's 5 different brainwave states. They are beta and gamma, which are waking brainwave states. And then there's alpha, which we enter as we start to relax. Theta, which is part of the REM sleep cycle. And in theta, we experience various phenomena, such as the rapid eye movement. Our eyes can move about underneath our eyelids. And we also are able to picture things more clearly. So that's theta. And then after theta, we come to delta, which is part of the deep sleep cycle. And that's when our body's releasing all kinds of hormones and repairing itself. So the emotional part of your brain cannot tell the difference between a real and imagined event. And so hypnosis is effective because we can use it to visualize ourselves in the way we want to be. And the more we do this, the more the neural pathways in the brain begin to build, and the more we can begin to associate with ourselves in that way. So the more we envisage this, the stronger the neural pathways become, the more confident, better self-esteem we have. So who wants to try some hypnosis? Let me know in the chat box. Yep, excellent. Okay, cool. Okay, so make yourself comfortable. So hypnosis is, as I say, a perfectly natural state that we all experience several times during the course of a day. If you've ever driven somewhere, got into your destination and not remembered the journey, that would be hypnosis. If you've ever been watching TV and completely zoned out. When the TV program finishes, you check your watch and it's time for bed. That would be a state of hypnosis. So hypnosis doesn't have to be a relaxed state. It can also be a state when you're playing sport. If you've ever been playing sport and you've cut yourself or got a small injury and not realized, and then when you stop playing, you notice the injury, that would be a state of hypnosis, state of trance. So it's a focused state of attention. And so it's, if you suffer with epilepsy, hypnosis is not recommended for you. So if you do, don't partake in this part of the workshop. So just make yourself comfortable. Allow yourself to sit back and relax. If you've got your legs crossed or your feet crossed, just uncross them, put your feet flat on the floor, and allow yourself to begin focusing on the breath. Notice the air flowing in and flowing out. On the tip of your nose. If any thoughts should come into your mind, you can just notice them and just allow them to drift by. As you continue just breathing all the way down into your stomach. As you breathe in, just notice your belly rising. Breathing out, noticing the air flowing back up, out through your nose. Notice yourself just beginning to relax. I wonder if you can remember the most relaxed you've ever been. And just allow your attention to focus on a point where you feel the most relaxation in your body. Just imagine that relaxation spreading out through your whole body like a wave, allowing yourself to drift down into a calm and peaceful state of mind, to a place where anything is possible. And then just let that state develop to a point where you feel comfortable. It's entirely up to you how deep you go into trance. The more you go with the flow of that experience, the more you can allow yourself to relax and allow your unconscious mind to remind you of memories of relaxation and calm. Maybe times in the past where you've felt confident, where you felt good self-esteem. Just thinking about that now. And every breath can take you deeper and deeper into relaxation. Drifting and dreaming. And your unconscious mind can begin to take control. And you can allow yourself to let go more and more. And you know how to let go. As a child, you learned to pull yourself up on furniture, things. And when you wanted to walk and take those first steps, you were able to let go, and that unconscious part of your mind has always been there looking to protect you, to keep you safe. If you've ever noticed a child learning to walk, you notice that they start off with their hands in the air or out in front of them to instinctively catch themselves if they fall. And they do that unconsciously. Just allow yourself to allow that unconscious part of your mind to become more aware, more alert. And your conscious mind needn't mind as your unconscious takes control. Drifting deeper and deeper down. I wonder if you can imagine yourself standing safely and securely at the top of a flight of stairs. And there's a handrail. In a moment, I'm going to count from 10 down to 1. With every number I count, you can begin to drift down those stairs, becoming more and more relaxed with every step you take. 10, taking those first steps now. 9, it's going deeper and deeper, becoming more and more relaxed, more and more at ease. 8, 7, drifting and dreaming. 6 and 5. It's almost as though there's a tiny voice in the back of your head telling you to just relax, relax, relax. 4 and 3, 2 and 1. After 1 comes 0. I wonder if you can imagine yourself drifting through the middle of that 0 into a velvety, soft nothingness, into a place where anything is possible. allowing yourself to go there now. And you can find yourself in a room. In that room you can find many things. Take a moment to look around that room. Investigate. You can be curious as to what you find there. And in that room you're going to find a mirror. Like a big full-length mirror. I'd like you to stand in front of that mirror. And just see that you that's looking back at you from that mirror. And just feel that version of you just sending you love, sending you appreciation. And as you do that, notice how you can start to stand just a little bit taller. How your posture starts to improve just slightly. Notice how you feel a little bit more secure on those feet. Just feeling that love coming back at you. Noticing that confidence, relaxation flowing up your legs, up into your body. Maybe you can get a sense of those vertebrae just releasing comfortably, straightening slightly. Just improving that posture, that comfort and relaxation flows up into those shoulders. I wonder if you can get a sense of those shoulders becoming a little bit more relaxed, a little bit broader. That confidence and relaxation flows up your neck and into your head. And as you do that, I wonder if you can imagine yourself drifting through space and time into a point in the future. Maybe tomorrow or sometime next week. In a situation where you want to feel just a little bit more confident, a little bit more comfortable, with a little bit more self-esteem. Just see yourself standing there now, in that situation. Standing tall, feeling good, feeling confident. Standing confidently and calmly on those feet of yours, How will people be reacting to you? How will you be interacting with everyone else? Maybe you can get a sense of yourself smiling, either then or now, allowing those good feelings to build, becoming more and more relaxed and confident, feeling good. And then allow you to imagine someone who cares about you standing in front of you. And just see how they look at you. See the love in their eyes. I wonder if you can get a sense of yourself drifting up out of your body and drifting into theirs, looking back at that version of you that's standing there. And just notice how they feel about you. How do they think? And allow those good feelings to build. Really build and really feel those feelings. Feel that connection. And then when you're ready, you can open your eyes and come back to the present. Maybe you'd like to stretch and yawn. You can become curious as to what you'll notice when you notice that confidence has increased. So when you're ready, just use the chat box and let me know if you enjoyed that little hypnosis session. Yep, it is like meditation. But yeah, with meditation, we're not necessarily looking to, there's various different types of meditation. Some meditation is like a visualization, like hypnosis, and some meditation is like mindfulness, like watching your thoughts, and this is detaching from your thoughts. Mindfulness meditation can also help. Thank you. Can also help with. I forgot what I was going to say now. Mindfulness meditation can also help with detaching from negative thoughts and stopping them from affecting us. Excellent. Thank you. Okay, so that's hypnosis. Thank you. Okay, so I have a confidence program, an inner confidence program, which is going to look to improve confidence and self-esteem. And it's going to work around healing the inner child. And so on the program, we're going to be looking to learn to set boundaries, to do confidence building techniques. We're going to be looking at ways to reduce anxiety, to stop negative self-talk, and it's going to be for 8 people for 8 weeks. And it's next going to be starting on this coming Saturday, the 7th of November at 4 p.m. So it's going to be broken down like this. In week 1, we're going to be looking at anxiety and how the inner child influences our lives. And then we're going to be setting goals and doing more inner child work. On week 3, we're going to be looking at mindfulness and emotional regulation. And then in week 4, we're going to be doing confidence building exercises. We're going to be doing stuff to reduce emotional flashbacks in week 5. And then we're going to be doing inner child reintegration in week 6 and 7. And then on week 8, it's going to be more confidence building exercises. So this is my second time running the course. So the normal price is going to be $199. But because this is only the second time I'm running it, it's available for a special introductory price of £99. So if that would be of interest to you, you know, feel free to private message me your number in the chat box and let me know a time I can call you to discuss that. And yeah, thank you for taking the time to join me today. If you've got any questions, I will now unmute everyone. I'm going to stop recording. So if you want